What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the monitor behind me, the Samsung G9 Odyssey. The most asked thing about on all my socials, for good reason. The thing is a beast. So we're going to look at some of the features and how I use it for coding, productivity, and of course some gaming. So I hope that you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Now, I've talked about this monitor on my latest desk setup video, showing off all things about the setup, but I've had this monitor for a little while now, and figured it would be a good idea to do a dedicated video, as the monitor is, as I said, the most asked thing about on all my socials. So this is the Samsung G9 Odyssey. Now weirdly enough, there seems to be about 50 different models with the same name, which isn't confusing at all, as they all seem to have different specs. So I'm going to drop the Amazon link to the one that I have down below, and I will also list the model number in the description. So let's talk about some specs then. The monitor has a 1 millisecond response time and up to 240Hz refresh rate. So this makes this screen incredible for gaming. I get a ton of comments on all my socials about using a screen like this for playing FPS games, like Counter-Strike or Call of Duty. Now, I get it, all the pros play on a 24-inch screen, so I must be stupid or bad at games, and it's probably both. But I play for fun, and whilst it might not be the most ideal, I do alright in these games, often topping lobbies on Call of Duty and getting my fair share of kills, whilst having an absolute blast gaming on a 49-inch screen, so I'm more than happy using this monitor to play these sorts of games. The screen has a pretty aggressive curve, coming in at 1000R, which basically means the technology of the curvature matches the contours of the human eye for unimaginable realism. Now, the curve might not be for everyone. I agree, I was a little hesitant at first and did have some concerns. However, it's an absolute game changer. I think when the screen spans the full length of your desk, having it wrap and curve into you is ideal, as it brings the outer edges of the screen closer into your vision. Otherwise, I feel like those outer edges on either side would feel really far away. I'd also imagine it would be harder to see things like text clearly on the outer edges. When playing story games, it makes it a way more immersive experience, pulling you into the game. Now, the outer edges obviously being at this resolution can make things appear closer than they actually are, if that makes sense. But the edges are in your peripheral vision and not directly on what you are focusing on, so it works nicely. The monitor is G-Sync compatible, and I guess if you rock an Nvidia graphics card, you'll see the notification pop up when the screen is connected to your PC. Now, I'm as casual as it comes to gaming, so I don't really know what this means, other than it's supposed to help deliver the very best gaming experience, including things like HDR, stunning contrast, cinematic colours, low latency gameplay, and much more. I'll drop a link to the Nvidia G-Sync webpage for you to read about further. It's a dual quad HD display and comes with picture-in-picture and picture-by-picture. So you can have your MacBook and your PC connected at the same time with the screen split in various ways. So you actually get to choose from a few options, but you can have the ability to have a small display in either corner, which is fantastic if you're wanting to keep an eye on the football but still want to play some Call of Duty like so. You can change the size and the options of the picture in the settings, giving you a few choices on whatever suits you best. The monitor comes equipped with a few ports, and at the back we have 2 display ports, 2 USB ports, a single HDMI port, the power port, a headphone jack, and an optical port. Now, to get the most out of your system, you'll want to use the display port to connect to your graphics card, or as I do with the MacBook, I connect using a USB-C cable to DisplayPort, and this ensures that you get the best picture from your devices. The stand that comes with the screen took up a ton of desk space, which is why I have mine on a monitor arm. However, again, due to the size and weight of this screen, finding a decent suitable arm is easier said than done. There are a few options on Amazon, and some are quite expensive, so I went for this one. And again, I'll leave the link for it down below, which actually brings me onto the back of the monitor, which is just so damn beautiful. It's like a spaceship. It gives me such Star Wars vibes, and I really wish I didn't have to have it against the wall, so I could admire the full beauty of the monitor, as there is also a nice RGB light at the back of the display. And who doesn't love a bit of extra RGB lighting? I use the screen for both coding and productivity, so at times I'll be sat here scripting, or perhaps editing videos, much like this one right now, or I'll be working away on side projects, picking up some coding tutorials, learning new frameworks and such things. Anyone who works any kind of desk job where you're at a PC and find yourself running out of screen space, then an ultra-wide like this is where it's at. I had a dual screen setup previously, and whilst again I'd recommend, and it was decent, I've been a fan of the ultra-wide that much more. The ability to see the full timeline whilst editing a video like this is actually a game changer. It's incredibly useful when scrolling the timeline and just makes the process easier and faster. The resolution of the screen is 5120 by 1440, and the MacBook does support this. It's not a native 4K display because of the resolution, but the display does do a great job of kind of upscaling it. The text is plenty crisp enough to code on and look at text all day without it looking blurry or giving you a headache. Now, I spoke about gaming on an ultra-wide like this earlier for FPS gaming, but it's an absolutely incredible screen to play any game on, especially story games, which are just absolutely beautiful to look at. And the curvature of the screen does a really good job at dragging you into the game, making you feel a part of it. And of course there's FIFA, or FC24 now, where you'll be able to see the full pitch when playing, which is a bit of a hack, I must admit. I'm yet to play a game on here where I thought, damn, I wish I had a smaller screen. However, one thing to note is that you do need a relatively decent graphics card to run this thing on. I rock a 4070 Ti in my build, and I play pretty much everything on max graphics, except for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is a bit of a hefty game to run. So I'm going to drop a clip in with no voiceover so you can just enjoy it. The screen isn't cheap, but I did manage to buy it directly from Samsung for a little under £1,000, and I do not regret it one bit. Whatever I'm doing at this setup is just a joy, and it really has increased my productivity for when it comes to things like coding, because the screen space is always needed and then fully utilised. So would I recommend this screen? Yes, I would, but only if it fits within your budget. It's a hell of a lot of money to splash on any screen. But if you're a developer or someone who's sat at their desk all day and needs the screen space, then I would thoroughly recommend the monitor. Likewise, if you're a casual gamer, I'd also recommend this monitor to you. It's been the best thing that I've bought in a long time, and it's actually the one thing that has got me back into gaming. I bought myself a decent rig, but I wasn't really utilising it until I got the screen, and it's kind of given me that love back for gaming again. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. As always, if you've got any questions, then don't hesitate to ask. I'll drop all relevant links down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.